Good luck to everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, George. Thank you.
When can I start? Yes, I agree.
Please hold. Sorry, I meant it's for you to wait. All right, please. And your name?
Peter Vitkov. I agree with Theodore and his opinion about war. I also agree with the lyrics of a song originally by The Temptations. And, you must know it. I mean, there's many covers of it by Edwin Starr, Bruce Springsteen, and Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It's called War. And the lyrics are, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Listen to me. War I despise because it means destruction of innocent lives. War means tears to thousands of mothers' eyes when their sons go to fight and lose their lives. War is destruction. In the 21st century, war won't be fought with sticks and stones. It will be fought with nuclear weapons. Because why people fight wars? For dominance, for resources, for money, for territory. But once planet Earth is poisoned, once nature is destroyed, what is there to conquer? What is the point of being the greatest if you don't have anything to rule over? You just don't. And there will be no winners now in this war. It will be the last for mankind. Most governments, most countries, they say, we don't have money. But think about it. The money they pay for arms, for all sorts of weapons, from a standard AK to a nuclear bomb. It's all, it didn't fall out of the sky. They paid money for it. And with these money, they can pay for, they can help people. They can stop poverty. They can help poor countries have medical service, vaccines, food, and water. Yes, I agree that a country should have a military force because, a person should protect himself. But this whole concept of just struggling for resources is just, it's just silly. There's no, people don't even fight because of hatred anymore. We fight for things so common and so meaningless as money and resources. And when people are educated, they fight with ideas, not with weapons. Throughout the history of mankind, war is progressive because all big changes, no matter about territory or human rights or ideals, are after a war. But if you think about it, If we were peaceful, there would be no need for it in the first place. Yes. And indeed, think about it. If we fight for all these resources, what do we gain from them after everyone is killed? And I mean, can we bring all these dead people back with these resources? We can't, because life is not something expendable. It's not something replaceable. And once you lose it, you can't bring it back in any way.
Do you need the water?
Yes.
Do you need to look at your notes?
No. So, what must we do to stop war? Politicians must start doing their work and not taking money, because you've seen in TV, they say, the Vietnam War is a perfect example. The politician stands up and says, we will fight for justice. But when they ask him, why didn't you go to war? Why didn't your son go to war? Why didn't your brother go to war? He says, well, I'm rich, I don't have to go to war. I have a job, I have money. It's not my interest to go to war. Instead, poor people go to war. In an effort to win money. And they lose their lives. So, if all of us start thinking about peace just a little bit more, if everyone is peaceful, war and conflict as a whole will practically disappear, because, there is, as sad it is, but it's true, there is this very primitive side to the human being that, there is this thirst for conflict and this desire to be dominant. But when you think about it and the things you sacrifice, it just isn't worth it.
Okay.
I think war should be remembered only in history and in history channels and maybe in video games. Because, in video games, the enemy is just, nameless grunts running at you with rifles, but in real life, these men are human beings. They are sons, they are fathers, they are husbands, they have families too, and even if they don't have, even if they're orphans, but they are alive. And, yes, that's all I had to say.
Okay, thank you very much. So, do you have any ideas for how to achieve lasting peace?
We must first sit down and really think about all these things, because when we're, when we're fighting, for example, when we're fighting for oil, And when we take the oil, we're gonna then, about like 50% of it is gonna end up used as fuel for military vehicles. So really, we are really winning as much as we think. Plus, as I said, if there's World War III, it will be fought with nuclear weapons. And just imagine, every single rock is radioactive. Imagine every single city and village and town in the world being like, what was that? I think it was called Pripyat. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Peter.